Warning: the following video contains parts of a reenactment of Mormon temple rituals as they were portrayed before 1990. This information may be disturbing to some people. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello there. NewNameNoah here. This is a very special video today that, in all seriousness, may require a extreme warning. Before 1990, before April of 1990 to be precise, Mormon temples included what was referred to in the temple as penalties. Other people have referred to them as blood oaths or death oaths. There are many, many thousands of LDS people, Mormons, who attended the temple prior to April of 1990, who have literally blocked out some of these memories of the temple because, frankly, they were somewhat disturbing. I got my hands recently on a copy of a survey. It's a survey of adult members in the United States and Canada that was sent out to, well, let me just read the intro here. The instructions here say, in cooperation with the Temple and Family History Departments here at church headquarters, we have developed this survey to help us understand your thoughts, feelings, and experiences relating to temple and genealogy activities. You may be interested to know that along with you, approximately 3,400 other members in the United States and Canada are being asked to participate in this project. Now this is sent out by Lynn R. Payne from the Research and Evaluation Division. Just a few of the questions I'd like to read from the survey. Now the survey has a total of 92 questions, but many of these questions have numerous questions in them. So for example, although there's only officially 92 questions, there's really almost 300 questions in the survey. As you can see, this is a photocopy of the actual survey. It's rather extensive. Now this survey was actually filled out by somebody, but before they mailed it into church headquarters, they actually photocopied it, and many of the responses they put you can actually still read. A few that I'll highlight here. Question number 29 says, briefly describe how you felt after receiving your own endowment. That is, after they went through the endowment ceremony in the temple. They put a one-word response. All this person wrote was weird. Weird. Here's a question. How much do you agree or disagree with the following statements? Let's see, the president of the LDS Church is a prophet of God. You can strongly disagree, you can disagree. You can neither agree nor disagree. You can agree or you can strongly agree. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the only true church on earth. Joseph Smith actually saw God the Father and Jesus Christ. The Book of Mormon is the Word of God. There is life after death. The Bible is the Word of God. Now, in some of these, just in case you're curious, on the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the only true church on the earth. The respondent for this particular survey strongly disagreed with Joseph Smith actually saw God the Father and Jesus Christ. The respondent of this actually strongly disagreed. They did, however, strongly agree that there is life after death. But what's interesting in this is that you can tell they're definitely trying to get a feel for what people liked about the temple. Most of the questions deal directly with the temple and their experience in the temple and how many times they've been to the temple, when they went to the temple the first time, and how old they were when they were baptized. And there's a lot of questions at the end of the survey that really pin it down as far as finding out exactly who this person is, although it says it's anonymous. They ask questions like, when were you born? They want the month and year. They want to know if they are male or female. So this particular person was a female that was born in January of 1948 with a lot of post-high school education. She was a white woman. She does have a job. Apparently she puts in over 60 hours per week. She has no children. She has never been married. Wouldn't be terribly difficult for the church to track this person down if they really wanted to, so I find it amusing that it's anonymous, yet they ask details like what's your birth date. But the whole point of this is that a couple of years after this survey was done, there was massive changes made to the Temple Endowment Ceremony. Now, before April of 1990, we would all, for lack of a better word, we would all pantomime our own murders in the temple. We would literally put our hands to our throats and make a slicing motion as we said that, you know, we would never reveal the things that we've been taught in the temple that day, and rather than do so, I would suffer my life to be taken. There was a reenactment of the temple ceremony that was done in, I'm going to say, the 1970s or early 80s. I think it was the early 80s. I'm not a big fan of the God Makers, frankly. Sorry, Ed Decker, if you're watching this. The God Makers, it's filth. It's trash. It did more harm for the spread of truth than good, in my opinion. Anybody who disagrees has probably never read it. The movie cartoon is amusing. I think you can still find that online. It is, for the most part, factually accurate. The cartoon is, as far as doctrines are concerned. But by and large, Ed Decker and Saints Alive, they're not exactly known as a reliable source of information when it comes to the Mormon Church. If you're looking for good, reliable information on Mormonism, go to Sandra Tanner's Utah Lighthouse Ministry. That's utlm.org. Or you can go to mormonthink.com. But you want to avoid the God Makers. It's not good. Sorry, it's just not. The whole point of this, though, is that there were penalties in the temple that were pretty creepy. And back in the day, we used to do this little chanting thing where now they say, "Oh God, hear the words of my mouth," and perhaps you've seen that in some of my other videos. Well, before 1990, in every single temple in the world, instead of chanting in the native tongue, "Oh God, hear the words of my mouth," "Oh God, hear the words of my mouth," instead of doing that, we would chant, well, here's a reenactment here. Watch this.
Pay, lay, ale. Pay, lay, ale. Pay, lay, ale.
Now, that reenactment wasn't entirely accurate for a couple of reasons. Number one, in the temple there's always a complete circle all the way around the veil, not a half circle. And back then, I seem to recall it was a little quicker. In the reenactment, you just saw they were like pay, lay, ale, pay, lay, ale. It wasn't really like that. It was more of a smooth pay, lay, ale, pay, lay, ale, pay, lay, ale. Back then, we were told that pay, lay, ale is the pure Adamic language. That's the language Adam and Eve spoke in the Garden of Eden, which was in Jackson County, Missouri, according to Mormonism. The words Pele Ale meant, "Oh God, hear the words of my mouth." And so now instead of chanting Pele Ale, we just say, "Oh God, hear the words of my mouth." There was actually 3 temple penalties. You'd have the throat slashing one. You'd have one where you're slashing your bowels open. Can't really see it in this.
The execution of the penalty is represented by placing the right thumb under the left ear, drawing the thumb quickly across the throat to the right ear, and dropping the hand to the side. The execution of the penalty is represented by drawing the thumb quickly across the body and dropping the hands to the side.
And then there was one where you kind of had a clawing motion. If memory serves me correctly, keep in mind I haven't been through the well, they stopped doing the penalties in like 1990, so I haven't really seen the penalties for decades, but I seem to recall it was some sort of a clawing motion across your chest, indicating your heart being ripped out of your chest. It's all online. You can Google Mormon Temple Penalties. It's pretty creepy. If you went through the temple for the first time after April of 1990, it is entirely possible you are completely oblivious to the temple penalties. They are what they are. They were creepy. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and just know that Mormonism is going down. It's going down. People are leaving Mormonism in droves. Don't take my word on it, though. Enjoy this nice little news article that was done in Salt Lake City by one of the more popular stations in Salt Lake regarding growth, or I should say lack of, in Mormonism. Enjoy, and I'll see you next time.
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is losing a record number of its membership. A new report quotes an LDS General Authority who says more members are falling away today than any time in the past 175 years. ABC4's Brian Carlson shows us how LDS faithful are reacting tonight.
At meetings like General Conference, Utahns may be used to seeing members of the LDS Church show up in record numbers. But according to a recent Reuters article citing LDS General Authority Marlon K. Jensen, for the church as a whole, the record is going in a different direction. Elder Jensen told the news outlet times have changed, and attrition has accelerated in the last 5 or 10 years. Some members we talked to say they see the faithful leaving.
I'm from Chile, and down there a lot of people just stop attending. They take a little bit too casual.
So how bad is it getting? Right now, the LDS Church has over 14 million members across the world. But according to the article, sociologists estimate active membership could be as few as only 5 million. Elder Jensen told Reuters it's the biggest departure since before the days of Brigham Young.
If people are leaving, I think it's really a mark that maybe we all need to get deeper into our faith.
When life is going good and we don't have as many challenges, sometimes we don't turn to God.
These members say it doesn't worry them about the church.
I know that the church is going to continue to grow and continue to develop.
But it is a wake-up call to be their brother's keeper.
It does come down to us, members of the church, to actually go out there and do our part.
And LDS leaders are hoping they bring their friends back. In Salt Lake City, Brian Carlson, ABC4 News.
Brian, thanks. And the LDS Church declined to comment on this article, but Elder Jensen told Reuters that the church is attempting to reach out to the less active church members, update its manuals on sensitive church doctrines, and improve the amount of accurate information about the church on the internet. If you'd like to read the article in full, we made a link to it on our website, abc4.com. Just look for it in the orange box.